Start recording now. Greetings, friends. How are you this day? We are here today to talk about This Is Her Story with Allison and her friends. It is a platform to share your story, promote your brand, and connect with other women who will be inspired and motivated by your gifts. Plus, you get to learn how my friends met me. How did we get connected and why are we here? As a member of Position to Profit with Allison Todd, that's me. I have offered an opportunity for my super friends to conduct an interview so that they can do exactly that. Share their story, share their brand, share their exciting products, and get us really motivated for 2021 because together we can. For those of you who do not know, my name is Coach Allison Todd. I'm an operations and digital growth strategist. I help micropreneurs scale their teams and their profits through operations and digital marketing strategies. And today we have none other than Bejanae Kareem, the CEO of BK International Education Consultancy. I will let you take the stage and tell the world hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bejanae Kareem, as Coach Allison mentioned, Executive Director and founder for BK International Education Consultancy. And it's a pleasure being here today with you all.
We are lucky to have you. So we'll jump right into the super questions that the audience and community have been asking. The first question is, why did you choose to become an entrepreneur?
That's an excellent question, Allison. So originally I had a background in the science and STEM fields, and then I transitioned into education. And after spending 10 years in the classroom as an elementary school teacher, I recognized there was a need for educators. There was a need for high impact classroom teaching, as well as funding for teachers. I was one of those teachers who would buy extra things for my classrooms to implement cool projects. When the school system may not have had funding for it and things of that nature. And so that really inspired me to want to help support other educators to build their capacity, their instructional capacity, as well as be able to find resources to get what they need for their students and for their classrooms.
Resources, funding, and high impact. I heard all of those words. But for those of us who do not quite understand what that means, please give us an example of the work that you do.
Absolutely. So I have a slide I want to share with everybody. So this is BK International Education Consultancy in a nutshell. Our mission is to support educational communities by strengthening educator practices to best serve students. And we do that in 3 buckets. So one is continuing education and training, or in the school industry, school sector, we call this professional learning, right? So professional learning is one way that we provide that high impact instructional training. We also offer program and curriculum design. We have a special interest in closing the STEM and STEAM gap, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, particularly among students of color. And so we have program and curriculum design services as well as project management, right? To help to smoothly roll out those initiatives and those efforts so that they're sustainable and impactful as well. And so our typical target audience, as you see here, are K through 12 school districts. We also serve youth and parent organizations because they also impact students as well. And then government and nonprofit agencies.
So what I see is you're doing a full circle because one really doesn't work without the other. So you've tapped on every entity. And I can't even continue the interview without asking, when we see education these days, everyone is wondering, how have you changed? How have you been affected? Your target audience right now is the hot topic, if you will, figuring out how to make sure students get the education they deserve during a pandemic. So talk to us a little bit about how you've managed your business during the pandemic and in what ways you've had to pivot and change to serve your audience.
Absolutely. And being an educator, if anything, the one skill that I say will serve you well is being able to be adaptable and flexible. And 2020 has definitely showed all of us that we needed to be adaptable and flexible, right? And so for BK International Education Consultancy, our initial business model was in person, so face to face, business to business. So supporting our business, supporting these other organizations. But due to COVID and social distancing and the concerns, with health concerns, a lot of our sources for leads and partnerships, came to a slow trickle as schools were figuring out what were they going to do in terms of their instruction to continue to support their learners. Will school reopen? Will we have hybrid? What does that look like? And so as a result, we use that as an opportunity to pivot as well. And so the great thing about using technology is you get to extend your reach. So we're based in Atlanta, Georgia, but being able to leverage technology, whether it's through video conferencing, using learning management system, online learning management systems, you can extend your reach and service more school communities. So we did just that. So our face-to-face trainings, we were in the lab busily and hurriedly, but in a quality manner, converting those trainings into quality online trainings. And so now we have a hybrid model to where we still offer business to business educational training, program curriculum design, and project management. But we also have this new component that where we have business to customer, where we have some online courses. We have a small library, a growing library of online, what we call e-training or micro courses that teachers can purchase themselves. So in the comfort of their own space and place, they can learn, they can grow, they can build their capacity. And not only that, they can use what they've learned and earn continuing education units, what they call CEUs, for recertification purposes. So that's one of the main ways that we pivoted.
Tell me a little bit more about that. So teachers are able to get e-learning from you that helps them achieve their certification. And why is this important to your business and the teacher?
Well, so one, the fact that we've gone through the rigorous process of becoming accredited to offer CEUs is a stamp of approval saying this is high quality training that you're receiving here, right? So that's first and foremost, right? Yeah. So we've been accredited, we've gone through the gauntlet, and our program is bona fide and certified, so to speak, right?
Bona fide and certified.
Bona fide and certified. And so teachers like myself are really lifelong learners, and we want to continue to grow and best serve our students, especially with the growing changes of the 21st and 22nd centuries, right? And so teachers can use these credentials that they receive upon completion of our courses to recertify. So in the education industry, and it varies depending on what state that a teacher is certified in, but after so many years, you have to recertify, saying that I participated in so many professional learning or development opportunities, and I'm going to submit my certificates, of completion to whoever the accrediting board is for the state and renew my licensure. So it keeps their skills fresh and up to date with the 21st century with best practices. And it also, they're also affordable for them to be able to go through the process to renew.
So in this instance, would this training wouldn't have normally been offered in person for certification? They would have had to drive to the class and appear physically in a classroom to get the certification. So you've really made a strong connector so that people can keep growing in the midst of the pandemic. Well done, well done.
Thank you. And then also, what we also realize is that not only teachers who are currently in the school district can tap into our CEU micro courses, but there's also educators who are no longer affiliated with a school district, but they still want to keep their skills sharp and still want to have their teacher certificate active, right? So where do they go? They're not associated with a school district. So what do they do? So now they can go online, take one of our courses, and still keep their certification active as well.
Super, super. Have we covered everything on this slide that you'd like for the audience to know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know what we stand for, what our mission, what our focus and purpose is, and who we tend to serve.
Super. If you want to go ahead and unshare your screen so they can get closer to you in the digital space.
Absolutely.
The next thing that, in listening to you talk about the things, the changes that you've made in the current year, the present year, and last year, I wonder, when you look back on business, how has running a successful business been different now than you thought it would be when you were first starting out?
Ooh, that's a weighty question, Allison. So as I mentioned, I had my start in the science industry, transitioned into the education field, and then became an entrepreneur. So did I have any formal classes in business? No, absolutely not. So everything that I was learning, I was starting from the kindergarten class pretty much, right? So one of the things about me is that I do like a challenge and I like learning. I love learning new things. But then also having grace and being patient with myself as I'm learning those new things, right? Because everybody thinks, oh yeah, I have this great business idea and yeah, we're gonna make money and da 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 da. And that's not really the purpose, right? And that's not how it happens either, right?
At all.
At all, period. And so really starting and fine tuning the what is my why? What is my why? What
Yes.
is my purpose? What do I want to give back to others? It's the same thing that I was doing in the classroom, but now I have more autonomy over what that messaging and what that focus is. So I would say getting in touch with your why, your purpose, and meeting that with the needs of the community. Where is there a need in the community?
Speaking of the richness of the why, I'm a firm believer that as long as we hold on to that, there's nothing we can't do because it's the driving force, right? It's the fuel
Absolutely.
under your gift that keeps you going. With that, what has been the biggest success to date that you would say you've achieved in your business?
Absolutely. So just I would say literally like 3 weeks ago, we published our self-published, might I add, our first book through BK International Education Consultancy.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, yes.
Come on, people see what that looks like. Yeah.
Yes, so this is what it looks like. So we are way hyped about this. So this is one of those teacher tools and those resources, right, that we want to support educators with.
Mhm.
And this is called 12 Quick Steps to Writing Winning Classroom Grants. So to date, like this is one of our greatest business successes because as I've been connecting with people such as yourself and just other educators, they're like, yeah, I've been spending money out of my pocket for so long. Why hasn't anybody thought about this before? I mean, you can find information about grant writing for nonprofits and even small businesses, but tailored to the educator, there's a need there. And I don't know if you know this, Coach Allison, but the National Center for Education Statistics, which is a part of the US Department of Education,
Mhm.
in 2018, they put out a report and they said that over 94% of US public school teachers use their own personal funds to
Oh,
purchase instructional supplies.
no.
Over 94%.
So everyone,
Over 90,
basically.
yeah, over 94%. So think about that. What job do you know outside of being an entrepreneur, but that you get a salary for where you have to purchase your own materials to do the job? Normally you go in and you have the things
Get
that
the
you need, right?
material. Yeah.
Right, you
Yeah.
get the materials. And it's not saying that schools don't have them, but oftentimes they don't have enough. There's a limit to what you can get. Or what type you can get, when you can get it, when you have access to it. And if you were like me and you wanted to do STEM-based projects, that may not have been in the budget when they wrote the budget, when they created the budget. So what are you to do, right? And so grant writing is one of those feathers in the cap for an educator that will help them reduce spending their own personal funds, and to get the things that their kids need, where they can invest those dollars that they were spending before back into themselves, back into their
Yeah.
families, and
Yeah.
other places. The other thing about it is that what teachers don't know is that when they write lesson plans,
Mhm.
the basis for your lesson plan or an
Uh-oh.
instructional unit is the same thing that grant
Yeah.
funders look for.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in a grant application. So this book is really unique in the fact that it's teacher speak, right? It speaks teacher's language. It's a workbook style. You can actually write in it, highlight it, whatever you need to do. Start to draft a grant through these 12 steps that are listed included. It has even comprehension checks in there just to make sure that you're understanding the material going through. And it has little examples of successful grants throughout the booklet as well, because we all want to see an example of what one looks like. Like, give me an example. I need to see an example. It has all of that in the book, and it's in paperback. We have an ebook, and we will soon be releasing a hardback book as well.
So you have released a lot of gems, and I know people who are listening in the virtual audience are like, wait a minute, I have to pause and rewind. And so they don't have to stop the flow of this conversation. Let's go back to that, because something super important, I believe, is what you said is work smart, not hard. What
That's
you
correct.
said is the teacher is already creating the curriculum.
That's correct.
The curriculum is the foundation of the grant. The grant is how you'll fund the supplies you need to meet the curriculum and be successful. And
Yes,
then you
ma'am.
take the money you're currently spending and spend that on Coach Allison, because now you have the supplies you need.
That's right. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Exactly right.
So I
And
did want to find out, in the midst of the book, you talk about 12 quick steps. Is there a next step to this? So if I'm a teacher, I get the book, it tells me everything I need to do to complete my grant, but I want more. Like, I want the expert time and connection. Is there a next step to this book?
there absolutely is. Absolutely. So, book, as we learn in school, is just a resource, right? So, here's a little list of upcoming events. So, one, we're going to have our official book launch coming up on the 16th of January. And
Yay.
so we'll post that live on our Facebook socials. And so even if you're not able to attend, it'll be there for archive for you to access. We're going to have a grant writing masterclass at the end of this month of January. And we have it at 8 p.m. So people have an opportunity, to get off from work, unwind, deal with the kids, whatever they need to do. And then for just 2 hours over the course of for 3 weeks, 2 hours each week, so a total of 6 hours, I personally will walk you through the concepts in the book. I personally will walk you through the concepts of the book.
Where in the world can you get the author of the #1 best-selling Amazon, all of the words, book, who actually teaches you in the master? So this masterclass is what, $10,000? Let's just go ahead and tell the secret.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is not $10,000. We want to make sure that it's affordable because we have teachers in mind here, right? And so if teachers are interested in investing and have that one-on-one coaching, which I'll be there to guide them through, it's only $175.99. So that's a steal, because reports show that teachers spend upward of $700 annually on their classroom.
Wow.
So that's a fraction of the cost. That's a fraction of the cost. And that's a fraction of the
And
cost.
literally, for everyone, I know there's teachers in the audience who already got it, but for other people who are not teachers, who are looking for grant writing, if you missed Bejanae say it before, although this is specific for teachers, think about it. Any entrepreneur who is starting business, looking for grant funding, any beginning nonprofit executives who are looking for funding, these are going to teach you the principles. Just like when we learned the principles of math, that I still can't repeat, FOMO, first, outside, inside, FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. I'm trying to show
right.
my friends. Even those things, they're formulas that allow you to continuously apply it to everything that you're doing, especially when you're writing grants. So I really want everyone who's listening to recognize you too can join this masterclass, because when you join this masterclass, you're going to get not only the teaching from the book, the 12 steps to everything that you need. Now you're going to be coached, and the training is facilitated by an expert with more than 10 years of experience. And trust me, Bejanae is collecting coins via grants. Success driven. So I'm sorry, keep going. I'm so excited. I just want to make sure that everyone who is watching is gathering all of these tidbits. The grant writing masterclass is January 26th. And what else comes after that?
So we're also launching a grant writing for teachers Facebook as well. It'll be a membership site. for those who want continue ongoing training. They don't just want the one class and they're done. They want ongoing training throughout the year. So
Mhm.
that will be happening right around the corner. And then I also offer, that's not listed here, but recently I've connected with several schools who they're saying, oh my goodness, we have budget cuts because of COVID, this, that, and the third. And so what we can offer teachers in terms of supplies are limited. And now we have to consider PPE, personal protective, equipment and Lysol wipes and things of that nature that they hadn't considered before.
Yeah.
And so the budget is even more down. And so principals are investing in their teachers because they know ultimately teaching your teachers how to grant write impacts the school,
Yeah.
right? It's a great ROI, return on investment for the school. So I also have been providing coaching and e-trainings online with school groups that way as well. So
Super.
that's another opportunity and offer there. And then STEM and STEAM are always of my heart. I'm such a STEM nerd. I used to be a robotics coach. So, so this is always going to be my love, right? So we have a STEAM certification boot camp coming up, and this is for school leaders. So for school leaders who want a new way of teaching and learning that's more integrated and more hands-on and speaks to students, we're offering that in January. Actually, there's a lot of things pop. January is on fire. Okay, 2021, January is on fire. We have a lot of things that are rolling out, and we'll have some of these sessions again, but get them while they're hot. So we have that for school leaders who want to set the tone and the vision for their school for this create this comprehensive STEAM climate and culture for the school. And then we have a summer program that serves both teachers and students in how to leverage online learning and create and implement these integrated STEAM-based units that are real world and relevant. Okay, so who wants to read about a train going this way and a train going that way and they meet at this time and what time? Like that's out with the O,
Yeah.
How can we talk about smart communities? How can we talk about leveraging technology
Yeah.
to alert and give out better and clear data about, for example, COVID, public health issues, water quality issues, things like that? How can we embed those real type of relevant curricular activities and instructional practices to promote students' creativity, their creative thinking, their communication skills, and their collaboration? So that's all going down this year. We're excited. Like I said, January is on fire, and we look forward to you all joining us.
So super excited to hear about everything that you're doing. I will tell the audience that is the one thing that we haven't gotten to is how did Bejanae and I get connected. First of all, we're both from St. Louis, so
that's right, STL.
Right, let it the arches where we're from, right? But second of all, Bejanae and I are part of a community cooperative, a CBV cooperative that allows us to share our expertise with the cooperative so that we can grow. We use that expertise to get out in the community, to create impact. But the greatest thing about it is we sit around a round table where everyone has a seat and we share the things that we know that will help create viable projects, sustainable impact. It is amazing. And what I say every time I get around that table is that there's so many super friends that I have. How can we not share? The other thing is that when Bijah and I were around that table, I always offer connection. Let's have a meeting, a discovery call, and see what's there. This was just a dream a year ago. A year ago, it was just she was just talking about it. She was just sharing how she wanted to take this expertise and apply it to the general population. And now look, this is how I know that any expert can be positioned to profit. All you have to do is begin with the dream and write it down. And what you've demonstrated to us is that once you start writing, you can't stop. Because as soon as I asked you if you had anything beyond that book, first of all, I was going to stop this interview if you didn't.
You know I was prepared. You taught me well now. You know I was prepared.
Yes. And second of all, you don't just have offerings, you have a full track, right? That's taking us from start to finish. I'm gonna in bite-sized pieces. So I'm gonna get the book. I'm gonna take all my curriculum out of my computer for all of those teachers and business owners, because that's all we have is computers full of content. I'm gonna follow this process that you offer me, the 12 different steps with the templates. And are there videos that come with the book too?
There's not videos yet. That's on the
Okay.
list for
Okay.
2021 to
Oh,
develop, because we are turning it into an asynchronous course as well. So
wow,
we're
wow.
here.
Yeah,
We're here.
yeah, yeah, we were there. So next stages, but I'm going to take that book and I'm going to create my content based upon the formulas that you teach me. And with that, I can then take the content I've created, sign up for the masterclass. Listen, guys, I've been taking notes. The screen's not even there, but then with the masterclass, I'm going to take that content and be able to have some one-on-one expertise with you. And the list goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are having trouble finding funding for anything, I will not promote this as such. But even though it says teachers, just do not forget, one things that we need more help in is structuring our content so that we can extract the funding we needed and have full control over the things we do in our dream, in our life, in our business. I'm super excited for you. Wait, I forgot a couple more questions.
No problem. No
So,
problem.
tell us, I think you've shared how the community can support you, other than sharing your social sites, going to your website, asking questions, checking out a sample of the book via Amazon. Amazon? Are we on Amazon? Yes?
We are absolutely on Amazon.
Okay,
That's
super.
correct.
So talk a little bit more about how we can support you.
Yeah, so in general, it would be great if you see to the right, we have the follow us. So we're on Facebook and Twitter at BK Consultancy.
Mhm.
We're on Instagram. So we just got on Instagram in 2020. Yay! So please help us to grow our following there. And that's at BK underscore consultancy. We're
Yeah.
also on YouTube and LinkedIn. Just look up BK International Education Consultancy, and we're there. And so as we share our posts of interest to you, or if you know someone in your network that could use this, please reshare those posts. Just takes a second of your time. We
Yeah.
greatly appreciate that. Or providing testimonials. If you purchase one of those, our book on Amazon, and you can go to tiny.cc/teacher tools, get the book, leave a testimonial too. That shows even more. That shows the community, the Amazon community, that this is a great buy. And I encourage you to buy it, because, you know, when I'm looking up things, I want to see the reviews, right?
Yeah.
So leaving a testimonial would be super duper helpful. And then just in terms of, if there's any warm leads, anybody that you know in your network that could use these services here, the program implementation and management, curriculum instructional design, or continuing education and training, send them our way. Like, send the intro email or tag them. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Sharing is caring.
Love that. Love that. I think that two of the things that we rely on most in my coaching curriculum, one is journaling. So you got to write it down so you can begin to make it happen. Two is learning how to ask for support. And if you don't know how to ask for support, people don't know how to support you. We often make the mistake, the misnomer, that people just know they're supposed to share and post and like. But if you don't ask, you can't have. And I'll add to that share that Bejanae has shared, that she has asked you to do on social. It's not enough anymore with the new algorithms to just like a post. Now you need to like it and add a few words. Guys, it only takes a couple minutes. Do not hesitate. Go in there, follow, share, like, add some comments, throw some friends our way, because remember, together we can. And before we close up, Bejanae, please share with the audience something that you know that you are repeating in your patterns, in your business patterns, that you're trying to improve. Because one thing that I do notice is that while we talk about our success, we often are not sharing the fact that there are things that we're a work in progress. There are things that we're trying to do as well. Can you tell us something that you find yourself repeating in your business that you'd like to grow in this year?
Yeah, I would say to really hone in on a few targeted things and do them super duper ultimately well.
Yeah.
I definitely have teacher brain, and so you're thinking about I'm the queen of multitasking, right? And so I want to create a better practice of where we're focusing on a few things
Mhm.
and doing them well to where that we see the impact instead of like jumping to something else. So that's one of our goals for 2021.
That's a whole word for everyone because I think as entrepreneurs, we spend time trying to touch everything. We already have so many different jobs that we forget if we just do a couple things well. Not only do we have the opportunity to improve those couple things, we actually know that they work. If you're doing 11 different things in a month, you don't have time to evaluate, measure, repeat, restore, etc. So I think that's great advice. Again, guys, this is her story with Allison and friends. I have introduced you to my friend Bejanae, Kareem, the CEO of BK Consult International. Sorry, the CEO of
International,
BK
that part.
National Education Consultancy. Today, we were here talking about her brand, sharing more about her story, and connecting her overall to the community. That's what Position to Profit is for. That's why we're here. So share with your community. Don't forget to share Bejanae's slides, right? Or pop onto social and like a page or check out a video. Hop onto YouTube, buy a book. Listen, there's options. And the goal is in this year is that we want to support one another. We get up and we go to stores where we don't know those people every single day. Why not go to places where we know we can support people trying to make the world a better place? Thank you so much for being a great friend. Thank you for being a member of Position to Profit. And thank you for today.
Thank you.